Hey guys, here we go. What's up guys? Matt from Get Speedback here, finishing up our Tuesday. Today was an interesting, busy day. Started off with breakfast meeting with Mihai, my partner. Talk about development priorities, things like that. We actually had a scheduled meeting later in the day, but we were able to chip away at some of the stuff that we had to get done. Right now, it's kind of complicated. As I mentioned previously, we're trying to figure out the order of things that we want to get done, new pages for sales and sales automation, Slack integration. Otherwise, the rest of the day, I had a really interesting customer interview that I didn't think was going to be interesting. Marketing strategist at an insurance company, and I was expecting the meeting to only go for 20-30 minutes, and we actually stayed on for the better part of an hour. They had a lot of really interesting problems and really innovative ways of thinking about monitoring employee performance, such as they do no annual reviews. They do monthly check-ins with like a really informal paper or electronic form that's based around goals that the employees set for themselves. And they thought that was the best solution for them because they can apply it to any department within the organization without having to change anything. And I thought that was really fascinating. You know, they didn't want to have any cumbersome solution, which makes a lot of sense with what we're building. But one of the problems that they have is because it's so informal, they find that there's not a lot of participation in the process. You know, people only use it when they feel like they absolutely need to use it or when they have to have a discussion with their manager rather than feeling empowered to do it every month and use it as a good barometer for how things are going and setting expectations for future goals. So I also thought that was very interesting. And in my mind, I was actually making a case for why employee performance reviews, it shouldn't even be a question of participation. Everyone should just do it because they value it. And as we discussed, that starts at the top in the organization. Organizations need to set a specific culture for being open to growth and having those thoughts always running in the background of the work that they're doing. And if that's not instilled by the executives, then the employees are not necessarily going to feel the same way. And it's another interesting factor that we have to take into account, which is the openness and the overall corporate culture towards the employee experience. So that turned out to be a really good meeting. And then just finished off 1909 Accelerator Meeting. It's an informal meeting that I help to host every week. We call it Help Me Help You. And it's just a place for the companies and the businesses in our cohort to get together and talk about anything that's bothering them for the week, or something that they need help with, or if they just want to, throw ideas off each other. And we ended up having a really cool discussion around partnerships and communication. So Mihai and I, in setting up Get Speedback, came at it from a really cool, unique place where we were friends beforehand, and we just so happened to get together trying to build something. And I think we forged a really good working relationship since getting started. We've come to learn each other's work habits, which we wouldn't have otherwise, considering we only really played Frisbee together and hung out socially. But we have this really good relationship set up where we know, I guess, how the other person's going to work. And on top of that, our attitudes very much complement each other, which is great, and I think is the foundation of our working relationship. And that when one person wants to go fast, the other one wants to go slow, or when one person wants to add something, another one doesn't necessarily want to add something. And these opposing forces are perfect because they cause us to have conversations and to rethink ourselves. And we're very open to having not arguments, but disagreements over things, which is extremely constructive when it comes to making a product better or coming up with new ideas on how to improve the product. So I'm really appreciative that out of a friendship, we've been able to forge this strong relationship. But that kind of gets back to this discussion we were having. One of the members of our cohort has this interesting issue with her partner, in that the idea for the business actually spun out of a project that they were working on in school. And it's a really cool idea, and they're still working on it. But this founder is finding that her partner is devoting less and less time to the project, which has now become a business venture. And she's having issues with communicating with her partner, setting expectations for work that's going to get done and when it's going to get done. And so she just started posing questions around that to the people we had on the call, and everyone jumped in and had their own perspectives, which were hugely constructive. I think what it ended up being, which may be helpful for her, is we all suggested that she sit down as soon as possible with this partner and have a frank discussion about the future prospects of the business and what their visions are separately, and if they align or if they don't align. And she especially needs to have it quickly, because apparently she has an investor meeting at the end of the week. And that that investor is going to have thoughts or questions about the partnership, how long it's lasted, and the legal ramifications from that. But it gets to this really interesting point about startup companies failing for thousands of different reasons, but one of them being the people who are getting it going and not being aligned on their ultimate aspirations. So it'll be very interesting to see what she does. She described it as having an argument with a spouse and potentially getting a divorce, which is very true. I mean, you're working on this child, which is your business, and you're working on it together. And you expect to have an equal and equitable stake in it, but also each partner is expected to put in the requisite time to make sure it grows. And so it'll be very interesting to find out what happens as a result of this meeting that she's going to have with her partner, hopefully for the better. Whether that means they both get alignment and decide to move forward together and this other partner starts to kick in, or they decide to part ways and she moves forward trying to build out this business herself for the time being, and then acquiring help when she needs it down the line. So anyway, cool day, interesting thought points, things to think about, especially if you're starting up a business or working on a side hustle or thinking about getting into business with a friend or a family member or a significant other. So that's it so far. Whoa, what else do we have to work on tonight? More to come. I have to eat first. Seems like my day is just working and then eating and then working some more, but that's okay. So after eating, I have to work on a presentation. Actually, we have office hours for our FAU Tech Runway I-Corps program. We're meeting with one of the instructors tomorrow to talk about the latest findings based upon our latest customer interviews. So I have to do that. And then another call to go over priorities for development with Mihai. So, fairly typical. Fairly typical evening of work and food, I guess. But yeah, good Tuesday. On to a busy Wednesday tomorrow and a busy Thursday, but should all be good stuff. Good learning. Slowly but surely moving towards getting back into selling our business or selling our service and trying to get success on that front. So hope everyone had a good day, has a good evening, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. See ya.
I consume like your vlogs like I consume all the other. Like I just like lay there
Passively, just soaking it in.
Yeah, I just soak it in and I replay it over and over again.